Let me start by saying this. I didn't just burn the bridge. I bought the land beneath it, poured gasoline on the foundation, and lit the match with a smile. For a long time, I was the quiet one. The ride-or-die girlfriend. The behind-the-scenes strategist. The woman who left her salaried job, her nice apartment, and her health insurance to help build someone else's dream from scratch. Because he said we were building it together. Because he looked me dead in the eye and said, "Anna, we're going to change the world." Spoiler, Ryan did change the world. Mostly mine. Into a dumpster fire. Let me rewind. 2 years ago, I was a lead UX designer at a firm that paid decently, had good coffee, and only occasionally had meetings that could have been emails. Then I met Ryan at a tech mixer. He was charming. Too charming. The kind of guy who wears Allbirds and talks about stoicism before ordering a $17 matcha. But he had a vision. He pitched me this idea for a wellness tech startup that could optimize human longevity using AI. Yes, he really said that with a straight face. I laughed, but he was serious. And oddly convincing. Over the next few weeks, we got closer. He told me he needed someone who understood both design and psychology. Someone who could build intuitive systems. Someone who didn't just want a paycheck, but wanted to make a dent in the universe. I didn't know it then, but he wasn't looking for a partner. He was looking for an unpaid co-founder with benefits. I moved into his condo. My name wasn't on the lease, but we were in love, right? He said, "You don't need to worry about the legal stuff. We're in this together." I know. I hear myself now and cringe too. But I believed him. I built the entire Core Life user experience from scratch. I created the first pitch deck that got us in the door with angel investors. I even handled customer feedback and beta testing. Ryan? He posted inspirational quotes and cold emailed VCs. And then, one day, I came home to find my key no longer worked. My clothes were in boxes by the elevator. My toothbrush was in a Ziploc bag. No note. Just a text. "We need to take a break. This isn't working. I'll always care about you." I begged him to talk to me. To explain. His only response? "Your name wasn't on the lease. And we never signed anything about equity. I wish you the best." Reader, that was the last day I cried over Ryan Adler. Because the next day, I opened a fresh Google Doc and titled it, "Ruin Ryan Adler, Strategy 1.0. A week after getting dumped like expired milk, I was living in my friend Marissa's guest room, sharing space with her cat, Kevin, who had the emotional support skills of a houseplant. My phone buzzed nonstop, mostly with calendar reminders from Core Life's shared system, which Ryan hadn't even removed me from yet. Classy. That's when I realized something. Ryan was too arrogant to lock the doors behind him. Not just emotionally, digitally. I still had access to Slack, Asana, Dropbox. I didn't touch anything. I just observed. And let me tell you, friends, observation is where the real revenge starts. The first trap? I created a fake consulting company called Arrow and East UX Labs. Website? Gorgeous. LinkedIn profile? Polished. I gave myself a new name, Anna Calder. Because men like Ryan never remember details, even your full name. I started writing Medium articles about UX best practices, SEO'd to death, so they'd pop up on Google. Within a month, Anna was gaining traction as a legit voice in design circles. I even reached out to Core Life's rival startup, Vive, and offered free consultation in exchange for experience building. Told them I was transitioning careers and wanted portfolio work. They ate it up. Here's the delicious part. Ryan had once rejected Vive as a joke during a pitch meeting. He said they lacked innovation. Turns out, they were building exactly what Core Life wasn't, something functional, ethical, and based on actual science. So, while I smiled politely in Zoom calls as Anna, giving Vive insights they later told me doubled user engagement, I was also collecting screenshots from Core Life's Slack where Ryan mocked their team as wellness amateurs. Spoiler, these would come in very handy later. But revenge isn't about speed. It's about tempo. I didn't come in like a wrecking ball. I came in like a polite, efficient hurricane. Then came phase 2. I reached out to an indie journalist on Substack who covered toxic startup culture. I pretended to be an ex-employee. I said, "Hey, just wanted to flag a few things from Core Life. No need to name me. But you might want to look into how their founder got his user data. Some of it was, let's say, questionably sourced." It was. He used an old mailing list from a wellness blog he didn't own. I attached a few redacted screenshots, just enough to pique interest. Meanwhile, Ryan started making the rounds on podcasts, spewing nonsense like, "We're not just selling a product. We're selling transformation." Gag. I clipped the audio where he misrepresented user stats, easy to prove, since I was the one who originally pulled them. I sent it to the journalist. I didn't hear anything back right away. But the silence wasn't empty. It was loading. And Ryan? Still clueless. Still quoting Marcus Aurelius and drinking green sludge. He had no idea the first domino had tipped. So here's the thing about men like Ryan. They think the world runs on charm, half smiles, and vision. But when it comes to startups, the actual world runs on money. Spreadsheets. Risk mitigation. And once I realized that, I knew where to strike next. Core Life had just secured a $2.2 million seed round, mostly from coastal VCs with more ambition than attention span. The kind of guys who wear fleece vests and say things like, "We invest in founders, not just ideas." They don't check under the hood, they look at pitch decks, charisma, and follower count. Ryan had all three. But what he didn't have? A functional product or accurate financial reporting. I knew because I built the pitch deck. I knew which numbers were true and which were Ryanified. That's code for bullshitted. So I found a way to politely ruin him. Again. I made a new Gmail under a fake name, Alex Kingston, a financial auditor with a concerned conscience. I gave him a whole backstory. Used to work at a startup that collapsed due to fraud, now devotes time to flagging early signs for investors. I even added a LinkedIn profile with a blurry profile pic and a few connections. Then I sent an email to 3 of Core Life's seed investors with a subject line they couldn't ignore. Core Life financial inconsistencies. Please read before Series A. The email was short, respectful, detailed. I came across Core Life's investor pitch and noticed several inconsistencies between their claimed user engagement metrics and the actual backend data. Attached are screenshots from internal communication, reports from their CRM system, and redacted user logs showing how those numbers were manipulated to appear 3x higher. I'm not seeking anything, just hoping to prevent another Theranos in the making. They say curiosity killed the cat. But in tech, it kills valuations. 2 days later, Ryan had an emergency board meeting. How do I know? Because I still had access to his calendar. That idiot never changed his passwords. It was a Friday. I remember because I celebrated with a bottle of champagne Marisa had been saving for her engagement. She was fine with it. She said this revenge arc was more satisfying than her last 3 dates combined. The following Monday, I got a call from Vive. Not Anna, me. Anna Calderon. They offered me a full-time UX strategist position. Said my consulting work was transformational. The salary? Higher than anything I made with Ryan. The kicker? The offer came with equity. Oh, and guess who had just started applying for a Series A and now had 2 investors suddenly pull out? Yup. Ryan sent out a newsletter that week full of word salad like, Core Life is entering a new phase of intentional pivoting and strategic redirection. Which is startup code for? Someone pissed in the investor pool and now we're drowning. I hadn't even hit him with the lawsuit yet. But don't worry. That's coming. At this point, Ryan still didn't know it was me. The investor exodus confused him, sure, but he assumed it was market volatility or VC flakiness. That's what he posted on LinkedIn, anyway, alongside a moody black and white headshot and a quote from Steve Jobs. He was still doing interviews, still pitching, still pretending. And I was about to strip the mask off completely. You see, while I was ghostwriting his entire brand voice, I'd kept copies of everything. Contracts, wireframe mock-ups, the first pitch deck, emails where he said things like, "Let's just say we have 10K active users. They'll believe it if it looks clean." And my personal favorite, "Don't worry, I'll take care of the paperwork later. We're building trust, not bureaucracy." Ladies, if a man tells you he doesn't believe in paperwork, assume he's planning to rob you. So I took my little treasure trove to a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, Ava Barnes, fire-breathing IP attorney and unofficial queen of petty corporate revenge. She read through the folder I handed her, eyebrows slowly rising like a curtain before a tragedy. Then she looked at me and said, "You have him by the balls, Anna." Like, with a full legal grip. Music to my ears. She drafted a cease and desist letter with the elegance of a viper in heels. It demanded immediate acknowledgement of my co-founder status, a formal equity agreement retroactively dated to match my involvement, reimbursement of unpaid labor with interest, removal of all assets I'd created, brand, UX, marketing copy, unless licensed through a newly proposed usage fee structure. Oh, and she CC'd Core Life's board. You know, for fun. We didn't expect them to respond immediately. But Ava said something I'll never forget. "We're not filing the lawsuit yet. We're giving him the chance to embarrass himself first. Publicly." Because here's the thing, Ryan wasn't just a liar. He was a sloppy one. And his ego would never let him take this quietly. Within 48 hours, he posted a Twitter thread, X thread, that read like a man sweating bullets into a hoodie. Just to clarify, all creative input at Core Life was internal and collaborative. Any claims otherwise are misunderstandings fueled by external negativity. Translation: I've been caught, but I'm still hoping no one reads the fine print. Bad move. Because someone leaked the cease and desist letter to TechWatch Weekly. And by someone, I mean me. They published a piece titled, "Co-founder Ghosted, Then Ghosts Back. The Woman Behind Core Life's Design Fights Back." The article went viral. Not front page of Reddit viral, but enough that Ryan started getting DMs he couldn't ignore. Developers quit. 2 more investors asked to pause funding discussions. And Core Life's user base dropped by 18% in one weekend. He emailed me directly for the first time since the breakup. Subject: Let's talk. Anna, I think we got off on the wrong foot after everything. I didn't realize you were hurting so much. Maybe we can talk off the record. Oh, honey. We passed off the record 3 months ago. I could have ignored the email. That would have been cleaner, classier, maybe even merciful. But I wasn't feeling merciful, so I typed back. Subject: let's talk. Hi, Ryan. I'm glad you reached out. It's been enlightening watching you try to rewrite the truth in real time. You've always been a strong storyteller, just not a very good fact-checker. Since you're interested in talking, here's a short list of things we could discuss. The original Core Life pitch deck, which I designed and wrote, still timestamped on Google Drive. The customer journey maps I created for MVP launch, attached with annotations. The Trello board full of my tasks, some of which are still active on your app. The email where you told me, "I'll just sign the docs once we hit Series A." Cute. The cease and desist, which you still haven't formally responded to. Please forward this to your lawyer. Oh, and maybe your therapist. Sincerely, Anna Calderon. Not on the lease. But very much on your ass. Send. 5 minutes later, he called. I let it ring. Let him stew. Then I blocked the number. From that moment on, the energy shifted. He stopped pretending I didn't exist. I was no longer a ghost. I was the storm. His PR person issued a statement about respecting creative collaborators. The Core Life website quietly removed my designs. Their brand got a refresh, which basically meant they used Canva templates and hoped no one would notice the downgrade. Meanwhile, my lawyer was finalizing a demand for damages. She called it a soft nudge with sharp teeth. Basically, pay me out quietly, or we go full scorched earth in court. But the real gift? Ryan Adler began unraveling in public. A month after my email, I got an anonymous tip. A very polite stranger from an ad agency forwarded me an internal thread. Apparently, Ryan tried applying for a creative consulting gig after Core Life downsized. The agency Googled him. Guess what came up? The TechWatch article. The cease and desist. A link to my Medium piece. My name. My work. My version of the truth. He didn't get the job. They didn't even interview him. You want to know the poetic part? He listed founder of Core Life on his resume, and the recruiter wrote back, "We don't currently have openings for roles involving stolen labor. Best of luck." Yes, I framed the response. It's above my desk. So here I was, working at Vive, doing what I loved. Paid, respected, visible. And Ryan? I checked his LinkedIn last night. Ryan Adler, open to work. No posts. No likes. No recommendations. Just digital tumbleweeds. And you know what? I'm not even done yet. I knew he'd make a comeback attempt. Guys like Ryan always do. They're like mold, you think you've scrubbed them out, but leave one crack unsealed and boom, they were decorating your ceiling. So when I got an invite to a wellness tech founders roundtable and saw Ryan Adler listed as a guest speaker, I didn't panic. I grinned. Let me paint the scene. This was one of those mid-tier but well-publicized online panels where startup people talk in circles about innovation ecosystems and founder mindfulness. It was being hosted by a VC firm Ryan hadn't pissed off yet. They were trying to rehabilitate him. Give him the OL second chance glow up. He was going to talk about resilience after failure. I nearly snorted coffee out my nose. You want resilience, Ryan? Try being ghosted, kicked out of your home, erased from your own work, and still showing up in court with a folder so thick it scared your lawyer into settling. Anyway, I didn't RSVP. I forwarded the invite to 2 people. The TechWatch weekly journalist who broke the original story. A former junior developer from Core Life, Rachel, who Ryan fired for not being a culture fit after she asked about salary equity. Rachel's been vocal about toxic startup environments ever since. She's got a Twitter following and a grudge. A beautiful combination. The day of the panel, I made popcorn. No, seriously, I opened a bottle of wine, popped a bag of kettle corn, and curled up with my laptop like I was watching Succession. 10 minutes in, Rachel started live tweeting. Ryan Adler just used the phrase, "We grew too fast." Bro, you lied about your numbers and your girlfriend built your company. Then the journalist posted a link. Follow-up, Core Life founder attempts comeback. Here's why it's not landing. It included a screenshot of my cease and desist. Again, this thing has legs. Best part? In the live Q&A, someone asked Ryan, "Do you regret how you handled things with your early team?" And Ryan, red-faced, blinking fast, responded, "Mistakes were made. I wish everyone the best." Which is basically PR for, please stop emailing my new employer. Speaking of, the VC firm removed the recording 2 hours later. Cited technical issues. LOL. Ryan's name no longer appears on their speaker page. The next day, I received a package. No return address. Inside, a softcover book titled The Art of Apology, and a sticky note with 2 words. No hard feelings. His handwriting. I laughed so hard I scared Kevin the cat. I gave the book to Marissa's toddler to chew on. I didn't respond. Why would I? He'd already felt the full force of consequence. I didn't need to scream or threaten or torch his house. I just removed his safety net and watched him fall. He tried to come back, but I had changed the locks. Let me set the scene. It's a rainy Tuesday afternoon. I'm on a Zoom call reviewing UX mockups for a new Vive campaign, calm, productive, and blissfully unbothered, when my recruiter slacks me. Hey, I found someone promising for the junior design role. Recent grad. Sharp. Portfolio's great. Just finished a short contract at, get this, Adler Collective. My fingers froze mid-keystroke. Adler Collective. Oh, Ryan. You really thought slapping your name on something new would make people forget your old mess? The girl's name was Jasmine. She was 24, eager, and had a background in behavioral design. A diamond in the rough. She showed up to the interview in a thrifted blazer and bright green eyeliner. Confidence in her eyes, but something else too, like she'd just gotten off a roller coaster she didn't sign up for. So I asked her, "Tell me about your last role." Her smile faltered. It was chaotic. I let the silence hang. Honestly, she said finally, the founder was kind of a mess. He didn't pay on time, changed the project scope every 2 days, and micromanaged everything, then ghosted me when I asked for a reference. I smiled. Not maliciously. Just knowingly. Ryan Adler, right? She blinked. Wait, how did you? So I told her. Not everything. Not the whole Roman epic of my psychological war, but enough that I was the original UX lead behind Core Life. That I'd worked with him. That he had a habit of using people and discarding them when they'd served their purpose. She looked stunned. Then she laughed. That makes so much sense now. She told me how Adler Collective was just him in a WeWork space, pitching vague design partnerships to supplement his income while pretending to still be a visionary. He'd hired Jasmine as a creative fellow, promising mentorship and equity once seed funding came through. Sound familiar? She said she left after he tried to get her to do copywriting, brand strategy, UI work, and schedule his dentist appointment, unpaid. So I offered her the job. Full-time. Benefits. A mentor who wouldn't steal her ideas and gaslight her afterward. She cried. On the call. Happy tears. Are you serious? She asked. Dead serious. Because revenge isn't always about making your enemy suffer directly. Sometimes it's about intercepting the next person they're about to hurt and giving them the tools to thrive. I updated my Ruin Ryan Adler document that night. Under the section titled Legacy, I added, stole his intern. Promoted her in under 6 months. Her new business cards read, Lead Designer, Vive. Then I poured a glass of wine and thought about how small the world really is. Especially when you burn bridges in every direction. You'd think by now Ryan Adler would have learned to lie low, maybe take a personal development course, or, I don't know, develop a conscience. But no. He doubled down. I was mid-coffee, an oat milk flat white, because revenge tastes better with foamed milk, when an email landed in my inbox. The subject line? Legal action warning. Unauthorized defamation. Oh! I clicked. Inside was a gloriously unhinged PDF on fake letterhead that read something like this, and I am not making this up. To whom it may concern, yes, with an S. It has come to my attention that you have slandered my name across various media platforms and caused measurable damage to my professional reputation, future earnings, and mental well-being. Cease and desist, or we will pursue all avenues of restitution in court. He even bolded mental well-being, like he thought that would legally scare me. 2 pages in, he listed his demands, which included a full public retraction, removal of all mentions of him from my blog and socials. I have neither. Compensatory damages to be negotiated, sir, no. A written apology, acknowledging exaggerated claims and malicious behavior. At the bottom, sincerely, Ryan Adler. Founder, thought leader, advisor to emerging markets. What is that, a job title or a tarot card? I forwarded it to Ava, my lawyer, with the subject. El Mayo. Please frame this? She called me 5 minutes later, giggling. Anna, this isn't a legal threat. This is a Yelp review with delusions of grandeur. We drafted a response that was short, professional, and packed with quiet fury. It read, Dear Mr. Adler, thank you for your email dated today's date. I have reviewed your claims with legal counsel. Please note the following. No defamatory statements have been made. All published material is factual, documented, and protected under applicable free speech laws. As you are aware, you entered into a settlement regarding prior intellectual property disputes. You signed it. I have the scanned copy. Any further contact of this nature will be considered harassment and handled accordingly. Kind regards, Anna Calderon, co-founder of the company you forgot I built. We CC'd his personal email, his old business address, and, for fun, his new Gmail signature with fractional consultant in Comic Sans. I didn't even know Gmail allowed that font. Within hours, we got silence. Within days, Rachel, remember her from the live tweets, DM'd me a screenshot. Ryan had removed all professional titles from his LinkedIn. The bio now just read, exploring new opportunities. And I was thriving. I had just been promoted to director of product at Vive. Jasmine's latest UX feature was getting real traction. A major mental health nonprofit reached out for a brand collab, so I bought myself a little gift, a matte black business card holder with gold embossed initials. Inside, I slipped a custom card that reads, Anna Calderon, not on the lease. Still in your nightmares. It started as a joke. I was on a team call reviewing language for a new role Vive was opening, Director of Strategic Partnerships. Big title. Bigger salary. Important stuff. HR had drafted the usual bland copy. We're looking for a visionary leader with startup experience and a track record of ethical, high-growth innovation. Yawn, I said, half laughing. You know what we should write? Must not have lied to investors, faked traction metrics, or ghosted their co-founder girlfriend. Everyone laughed. Then Jasmine, bless her sharp, petty heart, goes, what if we actually put something like that in? No names. Just vibes. We looked at each other. Silence. And then I said, give me 5 minutes. So here's what ended up in the official listing on Vive's careers page, under desired qualifications. Demonstrated leadership in early-stage startups. Clear, documented success in cross-functional team collaboration. No history of litigation related to intellectual property theft, equity disputes, or misrepresentation to stakeholders. Must be able to respect co-founders, especially the ones who built the company. Did I name Ryan? No. Did I have to? Absolutely not. The listing blew up. It was screenshotted and tweeted with captions like, this job post went teotherapy and isn't taking any more BS. Vive said sparkles tell the truth sparkles or don't bother applying. A few startup newsletters featured it. It made the rounds on Reddit. Yes, including here. I upvoted every salty comment about some clown named Ryan. But the cherry on top? I got a message on LinkedIn from one of Ryan's former investors. A short note. No greeting. Just this. We should have backed you. I didn't even respond. I just screenshotted it, printed it, and stuck it next to my desk. Ryan never emailed me again. Never sued. Never went public. You know what he did do? He quietly applied to a mid-level product role at a competitor. How do I know? Because someone I mentored sits on their hiring committee. They Googled him, saw the articles, the job post, the patterns. He didn't get a call back. And me? I got invited to speak at a Women in Tech event this fall. My talk is titled, "Don't just break the glass ceiling, use the shards." It's been exactly 365 days since I opened that Google Doc and titled it, Ruin Ryan Adler, Strategy 1.0. I haven't opened it since part 9. It sits untouched on my drive, time-stamped like a gravestone. And that's what it is now, a marker of who I used to be. The woman he underestimated. The woman who left with nothing and now owns everything that matters. Let me tell you where I am today. I'm sitting on the balcony of my own apartment, not someone else's lease. Mine. The lease is in my name. So is the deed. I bought it outright 2 months ago. It overlooks a park. On Sundays, I drink my coffee while families fly kites and dogs race each other for tennis balls. It's the kind of peace that comes when you no longer have to prove anything to anyone. My job? I'm now VP of Product at Vive. The company that started as a life raft became a damn ship, and I helped steer it. We just launched a new initiative partnering with mental health nonprofits to bring wellness tools to underserved communities. That was my idea. It's got my name on the press release. Remember Jasmine? She's now mentoring other interns. She's thriving. Sometimes I catch her slapping down red flags in meetings with a confidence that reminds me of myself, except she didn't have to learn it through betrayal. She got to learn it in safety. That's my favorite revenge of all. And Ryan? Last I heard, because yes, the universe still sends me updates unprompted, he's freelancing under a new brand name. One I won't list here because I refuse to give him SEO. He's quiet now. No more panels. No more podcast quotes. The last time his name came up in conversation, someone wrinkled their nose and said, "Didn't he get me too'd or something?" I didn't correct them. The truth is, he didn't get me too'd. He got me held accountable. It just doesn't roll off the tongue as well. I'm not angry anymore. That's the part no one tells you about long revenge. You think you'll feel rage forever, but you don't. Eventually, all that heat becomes light. Clear. Focused. You get to live your life forward without dragging their dead weight behind you. You stop fighting to be seen and start choosing where you want to be seen. You stop asking for a seat at someone else's table and build your own. Bigger. Better. With real chairs. And you never, ever forget to put your own name on the lease. I still keep the business card that says, Ana Calderon, not on the lease. Still in your nightmares. But these days? It stays tucked away in a drawer. Because now, I don't need to remind anyone who I am. They already know.